Shalom, Most High in Christ bless. Can everybody hear me and see me? And can I get a brother to scribe for me? Yeah, all praise to the Most High. Zechariah. Still waiting on that music, Zechariah, bro. Still waiting. All right. Zechariah, my scribe. And we are almost done with the book of Job. Almost done with the book of Job. All right. Almost done with the book of Job. So, remember they had the young man, Elihu, and he was basically correcting Job, showing Job the works of the Lord. And this next chapter, he's going to continue on with the works of the Lord. And then the Lord got a response for Job. So I ain't gonna waste no time. Job chapter 37, verse 1. It says, "At this also my heart trembleth, and is moved out of his place. Hear attentively to the voice of his voice, to the noise of his voice, and the sound that goeth out of his mouth. He directeth it under the whole heaven, and his lightning unto the ends of the earth. After it a voice roareth. He thundereth with the voice of his excellency, and he will not stay them when his voice is heard. God thundereth marvelously with his voice. Great things doth he, which we cannot comprehend. For he saith to the snow, Be thou on the earth, likewise to the small rain, and to the great rain of his strength. He sealeth up the hand of every man, that all men may know his work. Then the beasts go into dens and remain in their places. Out of the south cometh the whirlwind, and cold out of the north. By the breath of God frost is given, and the breath of his waters is straitened. Also by watering he wearieth the thick cloud. He scattereth his bright cloud, and it is turned round about by his counsels, that they may do whatsoever he commanded them upon the face of the world in the earth." This is a lot of stuff is going on with this. He's basically describing the works of the Lord, and it's crazy because when it rains, the rain does not go past a certain level. Like as much as it rains, as much as it floods, the waters don't overflow, the seas, the rivers, they never overflow unless they have permission from the Lord. Everything has permission from the Lord. Nothing moves without him. Even the animals, the bears, the rabbits, certain foxes, they have dens and holes that they hide in from the weather. And all of them do it at the same time. Watch a lot of nature shows to get the understanding of some of this. Watch a lot of nature shows. Verse, he causeth it to come, whether for correction or for his land or for mercy. So the winds, the frost, the waters, everything comes, whether for correction, because we know that the flood during Noah's time, that came for correction. The rain and the hail came around Egypt time for correction. Rain also comes for the land's sake. The land needs to be watered, vegetation needs to grow. Waters and rain also come for mercy's sake. All right. When we have, that's why in the book of Leviticus, when we were bringing tithes, which is food, to Jerusalem, he said that you give the tenth part that the Lord blessed you with. All right. The tenth part that the Lord blessed you with, that's that mercy that he shows us. Verse 14. Hearken unto this, O Job. Stand still and consider the wondrous works of God. Dost thou know when God disposed them and caused the light of his cloud to shine? Dost thou know the balances of the clouds, the wondrous works of him which is perfect in knowledge? How thy garments are warm, and he quieteth the earth by the south wind? Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong, and as a molten looking glass? Teach us what we shall say unto him, for we cannot order our speech by reason of darkness. Shall it be told him that I speak? If a man speak, surely he shall be swallowed up. And now men see not the bright light which is in the clouds, but the wind passeth and cleanseth them. Fair weather cometh out of the north, and God is terrible. With God is terrible majesty. Touching the Almighty, we cannot find him out. He is excellent in power and in judgment and in plenty of justice. He will not afflict. Men do therefore fear him. He respecteth not any that are wise of heart. So it don't matter how much knowledge that you have, there's still no respect of persons with the Lord. You shall receive for the good that you have done, and you shall receive for the evil that you have done. You could be the wisest person on earth. And look at Solomon. Chapter 38, verse 1. Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, Who is this that darkeneth counsel by words without knowledge? Who is this that darkeneth counsel by words without knowledge? Gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me. So this is the Lord talking to Job now. Before it was Elihu in the previous chapter. Where was thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? Declare if thou hast understanding. Who hath laid the measures thereof, if thou knowest? Or who hath stretched the line upon it? Whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened? Or who laid the cornerstone thereof? When the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy? Or who shut up the sea with doors, when it breaketh forth as if it had issued out of the womb? When I make the cloud the garment thereof, and the thick darkness a swaddling band for it, and break up for it my decreed place, and set bars and doors, and said, Hitherto thou shalt come, but no further, and here shall thy proud waves be stayed. That's exactly what I was describing earlier. The Lord tells the sea, don't come no further than this. That's why you see the water goes up on the seashore, and it goes right back. Even in a storm, it goes up on the seashore to a certain point, comes right on back. Only if the Lord says, continue going, flood this place, only then does it do it. Verse 12. Hast thou commanded the morning since thy days, and caused the dayspring to know his place, that it might take hold of the ends of the earth, that the wicked might be shaken out of it? As it turned as clay to the seal, and they stand as a garment. And from the wicked their light is withholden, and the high arm shall be broken. Hast thou entered into the springs of the sea, or hast thou walked in the search of the depth? Have the gates of death been opened unto thee, or hast thou seen the doors of the shadow of death? Hast thou perceived the breadth of the earth? Declare if thou knowest at all. This is some stuff this is the Lord asking Job all of these questions. And we don't have no answer to it today. Have the gates of death been opened unto thee, or hast thou seen the doors of the shadow of death? We never saw that before. One person saw that was Christ. Hast thou entered the springs of the sea, or hast thou walked in the search of the depth? Black people don't even like to go in the ocean. We could be on the ship and we still scared. Black people don't like to go out in the ocean like that and try to search it, but Esau do. All of these questions, and that's what I've noticed. All of these questions that the Lord asks us, and especially in Job and in Esdras, Esau tried to go find them things out. He tries to go find those things out. That's why he has shows on nature, shows on the universe. Uh, they try to measure light. I was watching something earlier. They talking about light moves at like 4 trillion miles a year. Yeah, that's one light year. So it's like they try to measure everything. Verse 20, verse 19. Where is the way wherein light dwelleth? And as for darkness, where is the place thereof? That thou shouldest take it to the bound thereof, and that thou shouldest know the paths to the house thereof. Knowest thou it because thou wast then born, or because the number of thy days is great? Hast thou entered into the treasures of the snow, or hast thou seen the treasures of the hail, which I have reserved against the time of trouble, against the day of battle and war? By what way is the light parted, which scattereth the east upon the earth, the east wind upon the earth? Who hath divided the watercourse for the overflowing of waters, or a way for the lightning of thunder, to cause it to rain on the earth, where no man is, on the wilderness, wherein there is no man, to satisfy the desolate and waste ground, and to cause the bud of the tender herb to spring forth? Hath the rain a father, or who hath begotten the drops of dew? Out of whose womb came the ice, and the hoary frost of heaven, who hath gendered it? The waters are hid as with a stone, and the face of the deep is frozen. Canst thou bind the sweet influences of Pleiades, or loose the bands of Orion? So he was talking, hath the rain a father, or who hath begotten the drops of dew? Out of whose womb came the ice? This is something that's way beyond any understanding that we have. Way beyond. Now he goes into the constellations. Verse 31, canst thou bind the sweet influences of Pleiades, or loose the bands of Orion? Canst thou bring forth Mazzaroth in his season, or canst thou guide Arcturus with his sons? Knowest thou the ordinances of heaven? Canst thou set the dominion thereof in the earth? Canst thou lift up thy voice to the clouds, that the abundance of waters may cover thee? Canst thou send lightnings, that they may go and say unto thee, where are we? Oh, here we are. Who hath put wisdom in the inward parts? Or who hath given understanding to the heart? Who can number the clouds in wisdom? Or who can stay the bottles of heaven? When the dust groweth into hardness, and the clods cleave fast together, wilt thou hunt the prey for the lion, or fill the appetite of the young lions? When they couch in their dens, and abide in their covert lie to wait? Who provideth for the raven his food? When his young ones cry unto God, they wander for lack of meat. I know, I tell you what, can't none of us call lightning. Sometimes we wish we could call lightning down. We can't do that. So he's asking Job all of these questions like, you justify yourself, but can you do this? Can you tell me where the wind comes from? Can you put lightning in your hand? Can you tell me where was light parted from? Where does the east wind come from? Can you tell me those things? Anyway, Job chapter 39, verse 1. Let's see something real quick. Alrighty. Job chapter 39, verse 1. Knowest thou the time when the wild goats of the rock bring forth? Or canst thou mark when the hinds do calve? Canst thou number the months that they fulfill? Or knowest thou the time when they bring forth? They bow themselves, they bring forth their young ones, they cast out their sorrows. Their young ones are in good liking, they grow up with corn, they go forth, and return not unto them. Who hath sent out the wild ass free? Or who hath loosed the bands of the wild ass? Whose house I have made the wilderness, and the barren land his dwellings. He scorneth the multitude of the city, neither regardeth he the crying of the river. The range of the mountains is his pasture, and he searcheth every green thing. Will the unicorn be willing to serve thee, or abide by thy crib? Canst thou bind the unicorn with his band in the furrow, or will he harrow the valleys after thee? Wilt thou trust him, because his strength is great? Or wilt thou leave thy labor to him? Wilt thou believe him, that he will bring home thy seed, and gather it unto thy barn? Gavest thou the goodly wings unto the peacocks, or the wings and feathers unto the ostrich, which leaveth her eggs in the earth, and warmeth them in dust, and forgetteth that the foot may crush them, or that the wild beasts may break them? She is hardened against her young ones, as though they were not hers. Her labor is in vain without fear. He hath deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. What time she lifted up herself on high, she scorneth the horse and his rider. Hast thou given the horse strength, or hast thou clothed his neck with thunder? Yeah, when it says she lifted up herself on high, she scorneth the horse and his rider. Ostriches are very arrogant, ornery creatures. If you've ever ran into an ostrich in the wilderness or been on one of those walkthroughs that they allow you to do at like a zoo or at like a open nature thing where you can actually see the animals face to face, ostriches are rude and they're mean, and they don't care about anything that you doing or anything like that. Verse 19, hast thou given the horse strength? Hast thou clothed his neck with thunder? Canst thou make him afraid as a grasshopper? The glory of his nostrils is terrible. He paweth in the valley, and rejoiceth in his strength. He goeth on to meet armed men. He mocketh at fear, and is not affrighted, neither turneth he back from the sword. And if you ever notice, whenever we go to war and we're riding on horses, the horse never turns back. It never says, hey, they got swords, I'm not going over there. You know what I'm saying? So the horses are leading the way in battle, and they have swords around them, they have things that's blowing up, and the horse just runs straight. Horses are not fearful of a lot of things. Verse 23, the quiver rattleth against him, and the glittering spear and the shield. He swalloweth the ground with the fierceness and rage. Neither believeth he that he is the sound of the trumpet. He saith among the trumpets, ha ha. He smelleth the battle afar off, and the thunder of the captains and the shouting. Doth the hawk fly by thy wisdom, and stretch her wings toward the south? Doth the eagle mount up at thy command, and make her nest on high? She dwelleth and abideth in the rock, upon the crag of the rock, and upon the strong place. From thence she seeketh the prey. Her eyes behold afar off. Her young ones also suck up blood, and where the slain are, there is she. Verse 4, chapter 40, verse 1. Hey, don't worry about the person in the comment board. All right. Job chapter 40. Moreover, the Lord answered Job and said, She that had contended with the Almighty, or shall he that contended with the Almighty instruct him? He that reproveth God, let him answer it. Then Job answered the Lord and said, Behold, I am vile. What shall I answer thee? I will lay my hand upon my mouth. I have spoken, once I have spoken, but I will not answer. Yea, twice, but I will proceed no further. Then answered the Lord unto Job out of the whirlwind and said, Gird up thy loins now like a man, and I will demand of thee. Declare thou unto me. Wilt thou also disannul my judgment? Wilt thou condemn me, that thou mayest be righteous? Hast thou an arm like God? Or canst thou thunder a voice like him? Deck thyself now with majesty and excellency, and array thyself with glory and beauty. Cast abroad the rage of thy wrath, and behold, everyone that is proud, and abase him. Look on everyone that is proud, and bring him low, and tread down the wicked in their place. Hide them in the dust together, and bind their faces in secret. Then will I also confess unto thee that thine own right hand can save thee. So this guy, Most High said, if you can do these things, can you disannul my judgment? Can you condemn the Most High that you may be righteous? Can you bring down proud people? Can you get rid of the wicked? That's the thing. We get so high-minded sometimes because of the little bit of knowledge that we have out of this Bible, and the wicked still rule over us. You better humble yourself. That's the whole purpose of the book of Job. Learning how to humble yourself. Verse 15. Behold now Behemoth, which I made with thee. He eateth grass as an ox. Lo now, his strength is in his loins, and his force is in the navel of his belly. He moveth his tail like a cedar. The sinews of his stones are wrapped together. His bones are as strong pieces of brass. His bones are like bars of iron. He is the chief of the ways of God. He that made him can make his sword to approach unto him. Surely the mountains bring him forth food, where all the beasts of the field play. He lieth under the shady tree, in the covert of the reed and fens. The shady trees cover him with their shadow. The willows of the brook compass him about. Behold, he drinketh up a river, and hasteth not. He trusteth that he can draw up Jordan in his mouth. He taketh it in his eyes, his nose pierced through the snares. That is actually talking about dinosaurs. Bishop did a class a while ago called The Beginning, Ending, and Midst of Times, where he breaks down that portion in Job. All right. It says his tail was like a cedar. A cedar is a very tall tree. So there ain't that many animals that have a tail the size of a cedar tree. All right. A lot of people, where are the dinosaurs at? Where are the dinosaurs at? Watch the video, The Beginning, Ending, and Midst of Times. Trust me. So, that is Job chapter 37 through 40. If any of y'all have questions, inbox IUIC Classrooms, and the captains will get to those questions in the order in which they were received. Lord's will, the rest of y'all have a good rest of y'all day, rest of y'all week. I think tonight is Escaping the Plantation 2 with Officer Gedaliah. So look at that. Lord's will. See y'all next time. Shalom. Messiah Christ bless.